Hey everyone, my apologies for today's video. There has been a tiny bit of a technical issue regarding the pitch and speed of the video, which I've tried to fix the best I can. Unfortunately, I'm not back in my studio for a few months, and I've removed the music as well. So I may re-record this one in the future, but if you find it distracting, feel free to click away from the video at any time. And the visuals will not be in sync, so think of this as a podcast. Welcome back, Fragrance Fiend here today with Amyris Homme, my all-time favorite Maison Francis Kurkdjian fragrance. Released in 2012, it comes in both an eau de toilette and extrait. They completely skipped the eau de parfum. To me, this is the absolute most perfect, masculine, safe, everyday gym, office, whatever you want to call it, scent. I'm not being a hype man right now. This is truly the easiest fragrance for any man to wear or to gift. Let's just go straight to the note breakdown. On MFK's website, it simply suggests mandarin, rosemary, saffron, amyris, cedarwood, tonka bean, and iris. If you go into local retailers or Fragrantica, which I never trust for information, you'll see different notes including oud, coffee, and coconut. I cannot smell them whatsoever. I don't know why these sites have not updated that information, but let's just go straight in for a spray. Not the most original fragrance, you can get a lot quite like this and at a tiny bit of a cheaper price, but it's really how natural, light, and fresh it is that makes it so accessible. It opens up somewhat abrasive, obviously the amyris being very prominent in the opening and throughout, while the mandarin gives a level of citrus freshness, but that does evaporate quite quickly within the first few minutes. But it really is that rosemary which demands attention from the front until it begins to settle out a bit. To my nose, the saffron is not that prominent at all. I have smelt a lot of saffron-based fragrances and obviously talk about Baccarat Rouge 540. It's nowhere comparable or similar to this. People rave about Baccarat, Satin Mood, Grand Soir, or sometimes Homme, but really this is my absolute personal favorite. And I feel like a lot of people may think that it's overrated or too simple, but honestly this gets me more compliments than probably 90% of my collection. If I can compare it to anything quite similar, it does have that fierce DNA. Super light, fresh, aquatic, lasting power isn't going to be the major factor of wanting to buy this fragrance. You're more so doing it for the ease and accessibility of just smelling simple, clean, fresh. And honestly, if you're one of those people that just owns Bleu de Chanel, Dior Sauvage, and Eros, whatever, and you're looking for those very safe, mass-appealing fragrances and you don't want to be adventurous, go for this. You'll still smell distinct enough from the rest of the crowd without straying too far from what you know. And you would actually be surprised, I know a lot of women that have actually bought this themselves, an intentional masculine-based fragrance, just because it smells that good. As it dries down the iris, it adds almost a tiny bit of a barbershop tonality to the fragrance, with the cedarwood carrying the fragrance all along till the dry down alongside that very mild sweetness from the tonka bean. Once again, you're not going to smell any oud, coconut, or coffee from this one, I can guarantee you that. Online, I did do some vague research, and by that I mean I just looked on Fragrantica and looked at the last 5 reviews, and they weren't all that positive whatsoever. But to be honest, half of them were based around price, which is totally understandable for what you're buying. Obviously, this is an eau de toilette, and it's not going to last you more than a few hours. Honestly, the best I've gotten is maybe 4 to 5 hours, and even then, that's a tiny bit of a stretch. But then again, you wake up in the morning, you go to the gym, you sweat, you perspire a little more, fragrance intensifies, you get to work, everybody's already smelt you by then. You should kind of go into this fragrance knowing if you're going to spray it into the morning, and you've already greeted everyone by about 10, 11 a.m., then that's all that matters. Whereas I know most people like to wear a daily fragrance which lasts 12 hours and beyond. Even though it does smell like a very youthful fragrance, I feel like it will probably go unappreciated since a lot of the crowds nowadays do go for these more smokier, mature, tobacco, ambery, often sometimes gimmicky scents, which are actually made for a more mature audience. But to me, this is a bit more of a modern day fierce. So if you're a woman watching this, considering to buy this for your male partner or a male relative, you may just end up buying this for yourself, because I do know quite a few women that have done that, as I've said. But to be honest, half the time you don't even have to smell this one. It's probably the most safe blind buying fragrance I could ever recommend. And once again, don't expect to stand out from the rest of the crowd. It's a very simple, mass appealing fragrance. But yeah, give it a shot. Let me know how you go. This is the 4th video I filmed back to back today, and my voice is wearing out, so I'm going to call it there for a day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.